It is very rare when a Jamaican will put an adjective in front of his nationality as a definition of his or her identity. On meeting a Jamaican, and if nationality comes up as part of the conversation, he or she will simply say, "I'm a Jamaican." And that little lilt that you hear is part of the pride in being a Jamaican. Many other countries are quick to hyphenate their identity. As a rule, either race or country of origin or parental home country is part of that definition. Perhaps the Jamaican's pride in Jamaica is in its history. Prior to 1492, Jamaicans were mostly Arawaks. Unfortunately, they became victim to conquerors. And what the Carib Indians could not do, that is, to destroy the Arawaks, the Spaniards did. The Arawaks left very little evidence of their very laid-back lifestyle. Between 1492 and 1655, the Spaniards ruled Jamaica. I was born in Santiago de la Vega, now known as Spanish Town, and, like the Arawaks, there is no evidence that I was ever there. The town is now called Spanish Town, and from this town the Spaniards launched their conquest of the Americas, especially Mexico, where they searched extensively for gold. 1655 is a very pivotal year in Jamaican history. The British arrived, took over the island by defeating the Spaniards. The British influence stayed in Jamaica. Many of the influences were very good, but some are questionable even today. Slavery was never good. Plus, have you ever seen a businessman dressed in a suit, a dark suit of that, and tie when the temperature outside is close to 90 degrees? If I were a business owner in Jamaica, my first rule would be no ties, no suits, ever. What do you think of the idea of shorts, marina, and sandals? Black sandals as formal wear, of course. By the way, Jamaica is ripe for investment right now. Look into it. Anyway, back to my virtual Jamaican tour. 1655 to 1838 were the worst of worst times for many, many Jamaicans. And they were very bad years for Jamaica. Very depressing times indeed. These years were based on slavery economy, of course, and you can read all about it yourself. Just search the internet. Suffice it to say, such national heroes as Nanny, the very first female Jamaican general, proved her military skills by fighting the British. Incidentally, if you do visit Jamaica, do try to visit a cockpit country and learn all you can about Nanny. If you can, try to be there around January 6th of any given year. Very good times then. But once again, I'm drifting from my virtual tour. Suffice it to say, this period, of course, also saw such heroes as Sam Sharp, George William Gordon, and, of course, Paul Bogle, among others. The really exciting times, though, in Jamaica, I think, historically speaking anyway, were between 1938 and 1962. I call this period the time of the great minds. Marcus Mosiah Garvey was not only a Jamaican hero, but he was revered in America as well among those people who were interested in liberty and justice for all. It was a time of influx from all parts of the world. The Africans were there, of course, part of my ancestry. Then came people from China, India, Syria, Ireland, of course, part of my ancestry, and, of course, many, many other countries. Is it any wonder that Jamaica's motto is, out of many, one people? Then there were development of true political systems in Jamaica with Sir Alexander Bustamante, who, by the way, was a clerk, and Norman Washington Manley, his cousin, which, by the way, are distant cousins of mine, both of them. I'm rather proud of that. They represented opposite parties, but collectively, you will agree, they did immense good in fostering Jamaica's growth and, of course, the pride of most Jamaicans. Jamaica had become a light to many civil rights leaders during that period, and, of course, it continues to do precisely that. Dr. Martin Luther King, for example, drew inspiration from just being in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, many of Dr. King's truly profound speeches were written while he was in Jamaica. Oh no, I ran out of time and there's just so much to tell you. Anyway, that's what the internet is for. Thanks for the company. Abby, I have to leave that in.